welcome to the Eve and Malc Safety Show. I'm Eve.
And that means I'm not Eve. Today we're going to talk about legislation. So I've been reading up on the B11 standards, Eve. Am I legally obliged to follow those standards?
That is a really good question. So in the US, the answer is basically sometimes, maybe, which is really helpful, I know. So there are regulatory standards which are directly written into law, and those are written by or brought in by OSHA. They didn't necessarily write them, but they are OSHA law, regulatory standards. And then there's what we call consensus standards, of which the ANSI B11s and other ANSI standards are included. And then after that, there's also industry standards, and those are written by experts in the industry to help show best practice and things like that. So regulatory standards are law, they are written into law. Consensus standards are not law. However, there's a fun part of OSHA which is called the General Duty Clause, and basically says if there's a recognised hazard that an employer knows about, they have to do something about it if they can. And if it's in a consensus standard, it's considered recognised and known about, so they're going to have to do something about that. So in that case, it's usually a good idea to follow the consensus standards, because if you haven't, you'll probably need to prove why and show that.
Will I go to prison if I don't?
In the US, you're probably unlikely to go to prison for not following the standards. What you could end up with is a very hefty fine for your company, because you can get OSHA coming in and doing an inspection and coming up with a pretty hefty fine. So I'd follow the standards if I were you.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do well in prison.